Live from Camp Crystal Lake, it's the weekly podcast 2 Cents, where Brian Gillis and Stephen Motinex talk about all the... God damn it, fuck these cockroaches, man.
Was it cockroaches or mosquitoes?
I got both right now. Now I got cockroaches.
Do the roaches fly in Austin, Texas?
I don't know. They're just walking across the ground and whatnot. Like, I'm fighting off these mosquitoes here. It's
there you
it's
go.
quite
It's
a
part
fun
of the West.
time.
This is welcome to 2 Cents. Like Steve said, this is our first episode, really via satellite. He's
Pretty
in
much.
his new home.
Yeah, I'm hours ahead. We're not in the same time zone.
Yeah, he's South by Southwest.
It was ACL,
code, right?
yeah. ACL.
I know
just
ACL's happening
yeah.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, same area of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Let's jump into this. It's so fucking hot here. I don't want to sit as long as I have to.
You're talking to a man who's in Texas, sir.
We already went over that LA's hotter this weekend.
I know, big shock.
Like, turning my fan off, I've already started sweating since then. Something that's not sweating, though, is Universal. Start this off, big movie. Furious 8's got a director, F. Gary Gray, a.k.a. Straight Outta Compton.
And Be Cool, and The Bank Job,
and most importantly, A Man Apart, which is something I worked on previously with Vin Diesel.
All right, as far as tie-ins?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure, well, besides Straight Outta Compton being a monster hit, the fact that he's worked with the bankable star of the franchise is reason enough for Universal to put them together again.
No, yeah, I mean, and that's, you know what, he's coming on really, like, he's been on the name for, his name's been up for...
he was on the short list. There was like 4 people.
No, what else? Like Marvel wanted him for Black Panther.
Probably Black Panther.
That's been coming up lately, and I think I don't know. Was he up for Triple X3? Like his name's just been coming up more and more.
Sorta. We can get into Triple X3. Vin Diesel said that DJ Caruso's directing.
Yeah, which I like that choice. I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I liked Eagle Eye.
Yeah, I like DJ Caruso. I didn't see I Am Number 4, but I think he's actually
kind of.
Yeah,
that one kind of stopped his career. So.
Yeah, I mean, I do think he's a really, really talented guy. You know, Disturbia, that was, which, I don't know, I guess that's dubbed now as the unofficial
Rear Window
remake. Like, we're calling it remake now, not ripoff, because it's actually good.
It's not bad.
No.
I mean, it goes further into the neighborhood thing. It's just, it's not nearly as exciting. It's not shot the same way.
No, I mean, it's more like just a standard thriller of that time. But
yeah.
I
remember.
I think it's Disturbia, though. Like, I wouldn't say it's Transformers, but it was Disturbia that really got Shia going, like, as far as, going up to stardom.
Is that where he's going? I know he's going to jail right now.
Yeah, he got arrested here.
Was it down the street from you?
It was on 6th. I was in the vicinity. Yeah, it happened. It was for the dumbest thing, too, though.
Is it true that he was yelling, "Just do it," when he got arrested?
I don't know. Is that actually a thing?
No,
he just got arrested for public intoxication and for jaywalking,
which is like everyone in the city at that point.
Yeah, I got back from 6th Street and I heard that happened. I was like, I'm literally doing the same exact thing, so it had to have been something else. He must have been like antagonizing the police or something in order, maybe they're just picking on him.
They knew that they could get him.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe everyone really is after him.
I mean, possibly when you are a hot ticket. Maybe the police force just pissed off at him because of Indiana Jones.
Oh, come on, man. Like,
I'm just saying.
It's a movie.
Mutt Williams can't forgive that shit, man.
It's not that bad. It really isn't.
He's okay, but the movie's so bad.
The movie's not that
and the
bad.
fact that they basically made him Indiana Jones' son.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
So what's wrong with that? Like,
No,
it was a sequel of a movie that, 19 years later? You got to embrace change in some way, man.
Well, we're going to get change with episode 7. JJ supposedly has final cut on that. Which I don't doubt.
I think that's insane. Like, that's a good thing. I think it just goes to show how, like, he's probably, it's been obvious already that he's one of the most talented people in Hollywood. He works very well with producers, like, and executives, and he can make a movie based on his own terms that's able to entertain the public. So, I mean, he's really, he's probably the best, classic, Hollywood director right now, just on a blockbuster level.
Of the new wave of young directors.
I mean, he has his sensibilities, I want to say, he's a perfect mixture of both old-fashioned and being on the cutting edge. Just taking all the old-fashioned techniques and little tropes of storytelling that we're used to, and yet bringing them in a way that feels so new and so modern. Like I think he's really great at finding that balance, and people love to work with him. So it's great to hear that he gets to make the movie the way he wants. Because well, aside from maybe Star Trek 2 took the mystery box a bit too far, but I don't have a problem. I think that's a good thing if he's got Final Cut. It shows that Disney's not trying to meddle with Star Wars.
Well, this is what I'm scared about, though. It was announced, they said LA was going to get the premiere a couple of days before the international one. I think there's going to be a London premiere like a day or two after. I think it's like December 16th. They're having a junket like that day or the day before.
Mm-hmm.
They're not showing the film early to the press, which is, something that happens pretty common with indie flicks or if it's like just for a certain cult crowd. But something huge like this, you would expect the press to at least be embargoed, but for no screen at all, that's pretty bizarre.
Well, I mean, here's the thing about embargoes is that even when you have them, people will break them no matter what, or, they'll let the news slip to some other source and keep it confidential.
It doesn't matter what the press says. Like, this is going to make tons of money. No one's going to read the reviews for this.
Everyone is going to see it no matter what, and I think, it's just for the sake of keeping all the plot points down to the level. Like, I would get that just for the sake of the movie, and I don't think it's a bad decision, but it really speaks to the power of Star Wars here.
It's not. I mean, it doesn't affect me, but I think it is a little bizarre. Like Peter Scretta from Slash Film was the one that was speaking about it in detail, and like that's how I know about this. I was like, huh. But like they're pushing this so hard. I went to the Disney store. I was at the mall a couple of days ago, and it was like a wave of awesomeness and weirdness at the same time. There was a Kylo Ren like talking doll basically, and pressing a button on this toy's chest and hearing Adam Driver's voice come out was really like weird and interesting. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, what is that going to sound like? Does that mask that he have on, like, is that
it sounded okay. It wasn't Bane.
Of sorts? Like,
no, it was closer to Darth Vader.
And does he have that?
It wasn't too weird.
I don't even know.
It sounded like Adam Driver.
Yeah, I don't even know if he has that mask on the whole time because I saw a still of him.
I doubt it.
I saw a still of him without it, just wearing the cape. But
it's probably just like I don't think it's because he's fucked up. I think it's just so he like kind of fits in with Darth Vader's image or something.
Well, we'll see. We don't know anything yet. I don't want to put any like.
Speak for yourself, kid. I mean, you can get on all fours and spit in your hand and get your pussy wet, but that doesn't mean I'm going to fuck it. I'm an actor. Other AAA directors, there's something really interesting that I read, and this is also Disney. Joss Whedon said that he's made more money after Dr. Horrible sing-along blog than he has from the first Avengers.
All right.
Did you see that?
No, I did not. And is that a joke? I mean,
no. Like it was like published by a whole bunch of people. All the major trades. I didn't read the interview itself, but it sounds about right. Because I mean, there's a good cast in Doctor Horrible. Plus, if you're into Buffy or Firefly, you're gonna want to see that. I've seen it. It's a great. It's like what, like all together. You can watch it on DVD in like one.
It's like
full
40
swoop.
minutes,
like 30
isn't
minutes.
It?
Yeah. It's really good too.
That is all him, though. I don't think there's anybody else distributing that or anything, right?
Yeah, it's all him. I think it's just on his website and like buy it from Amazon or whatever. Yeah. But it lines up with something else that I read this week, more of a rumor. But apparently, Robert Downey Jr. is making $200 million. That's 2 zeros for Infinity War.
Part 1 and 2.
I think combined, yeah.
Okay,
so like $100 million per movie.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the most that he was getting paid was like $50 million just for showing up in the Avengers. Or that's what I heard.
This must have been the deal. Why it took them so long for the contracts? What was that, like 7 months ago or so now? Just remember that? And it was like right when he joined Twitter. He's like, "Sorry it took so long, guys. We had to figure some things out at my house, technical things." There was like some joke about him signing the papers. But $200 million, like, I really hope that isn't true because he's a great talent, and it took him forever to be up on top and whatnot.
Does that also
all the troubles he went through?
Does that also include Civil War?
I think it's just for Infinity War, but like I said, this is a rumor. Like no one actually sees these things unless there's a hack. Speaking of which, Cameron Diaz got paid more than Jamie Foxx for the Black Annie movie.
Huh.
Like $3 million more or something. Like Cameron Diaz got paid more than an Oscar winner.
$3 million. I don't know. I mean, do we really want to throw gender or race politics into this.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's like the only time you're gonna find out who actually gets what.
I
on the
mean, I don't know.
budget and whatnot.
Yeah, it's all for stupid reasons. I don't know. Maybe that could be why, or I don't know. Maybe
Yeah, anything.
it really. I don't think, if I have to guess, like maybe no one is specifically deciding who gets paid more, who gets paid what. It's just everyone is just, like sent to go after
Well, it's all
one.
about agents, really.
Yeah, and they
It's whoever
gotta.
has the better
Yeah,
agent who can argue
they gotta
better.
fight it, and then there's just a certain point where the studio's got to back down and just say okay. I mean,
No
it's
clue.
not like I can't imagine it's like politics where we can't really get into a conversation where someone deserves more money than whoever. It's like if they argued for a higher paycheck and they got it, then hey, good for them. They won on that.
Mm.
I don't know. Why are we talking about this?
Doesn't matter to me. I just brought it
Yeah.
up. Staying with Disney for a little bit, they announced a new slate, something they do every so odd months. No surprise, lots of more live-action story, like fairy tale adaptations, more villainous movies, kind of like they did for Maleficent. There's going to be a Cruella movie scripted by 50 Shades of Grey.
Okay. Why? I mean,
I don't. Who cares? It could be good. I heard Maleficent was really good. So
I did not think so at all.
I didn't watch it.
I thought it, like, as a 3D spectacle, that was it. That was the only saving grace for me. But everything else was just really, really not good. And
Miss Brad Pitt didn't do it for you?
no, I can't really spoil as to why. But let me put it this way: Maleficent took the similar approach to what Frozen was doing, if you even want to call it this big feminist ideology that's being pushed by Disney. But just in Maleficent, it felt forced. Like the source material was specifically like just being, I'm all cool for different versions, but like it felt like it was really pushing that agenda. And if they're doing something similar with Cruella, that'd be really, really fucking weird.
They've already made 2 live-action
101
Dalmatian
Yeah,
movies.
Glenn Close. I mean, she's the best part of those.
She was
Yeah.
pretty good. Also, Hugh Laurie, which people kind of forget about that. He was one of the henchmen. That's bizarre.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, I can't remember who the other guy is. Like, it's someone who's also famous that it's just like time forgot that they were in it. Bigger things on their agenda. They announced the sequel to Ant-Man and the Wasp, which lines up with what you just said, their feminist agenda. But that's cool.
Yeah, no,
because they're dynamic, even though there wasn't a lot of it. Their chemistry was really good on screen, so it'd be awesome to see them like fighting crime together. It'd also be the first actual team up movie that Marvel's done outside of like a full assembly type thing.
And I mean, I just think like Ant-Man has seemed like that redheaded stepchild that no one exactly acknowledges in the same way. So it's good to see like Ant-Man won't just have his one movie and then just be there as a guy on the side.
Well, he's in Civil War.
Yeah.
He's probably going to be.
I mean, he's probably
in Infinity War.
He's probably going to be more to the side for those. Like
it's obvious. I mean, this isn't really.
He's not their biggest moneymaker.
Well, that's not. We'll just talk about it for a second. But when he goes into that space dimension or whatever at the end of the movie. That is obviously going to play bigger into whatever's down the pipeline for Marvel, whether that's Infinity War or past it. There's a whole story you could do about Hank Pym being reunited with his wife. Who knows? But this next movie, which is dated for July 6, 2018, is proof that they're trying to do it. I hope they do in 3D again. I hope they utilize it better.
Did you see it in 3D originally?
Yeah, it was good. I saw it in the Limax 3D.
Yeah.
It was good 3D. Especially the time dimension stuff that I was talking about, like that in particular.
Yeah, we might have talked about that, yeah.
Yeah. They announced other things. They pushed Toy Story 4, so it's opening just a month before Ant-Man 2. Incredibles 2 is in 2019. But pretty strong calendar, as they usually put out. So lots of Pixar stuff, lots of Marvel stuff.
Yeah, I think my only bummer, though, about this is, like, this is the year for Pixar that I'll be most excited about.
Good Dinosaur.
Well, not just that, but because we had Inside Out, a movie which I didn't love, but I really liked, and I really liked the fact that It's not that we're
Two
just yeah,
originals.
it's not that we're just getting two Pixar movies. It's that they're two original ones, and the next one after that, that's going to be what, Coco?
A sequel. Yeah,
Yeah, I
Coco, which is
mean,
like 3 years down the line.
so much for Ed Catmull saying that their mandate was we'll do one sequel and then one original every year for the sake of
It's okay.
creativity.
Well, I mean, think about it this way: they did two originals this year. They're doing their next two are
Hmm.
sequels, so that kind of balances
Yeah.
it out. And that's original, sequel, a sequel. I'm sure it's
And
gonna be
also,
an
yeah,
original
I
after
mean,
that.
the other original for this year is, The Good Dinosaur, which is a troubled
Hmm.
production that they're trying to save, which, God,
But everything I've seen of it, it looks
I
gorgeous.
want that movie to be good. Like, I really, really want that movie to be good.
Even if it sucks, it's gonna be one of those things, kind of like how the hair in Monsters Inc. or the snow or the way the snow works with the
Uh-huh.
hair is all so good about that movie. It's gonna be one of those, I think, but for landscape
Yeah, I
instead,
mean, no, like,
because
just that,
it's very
yeah,
photorealistic with a cartoon
I
dinosaur on the
love the
screen.
look of it. Yeah, just the first time I saw that trailer, like, in 3D too, those environments just look so real, and just that dinosaur being like so animated, it's like honestly, like it hits me on like that inner kid part of me that that kind of loved something like Roger Rabbit or Pete's Dragon, that loves this idea of fusing cartoon characters in real life.
Hmm.
Like, and I know it's not that at all, but
That's why
it's like I
you
saw
gotta
that and I
see
went apeshit
Mary
for it.
Poppins, man.
Yeah, no, I know. Like, Bedknobs and Broomsticks did the same thing too.
Mm.
Well, that's the
It's not
knockoff.
nearly
Yeah,
as beloved though.
yeah,
But the
no.
songs aren't in the
Yeah,
lexicon.
anyway, point being, I really, really, really want to like The Good Dinosaur a lot. Like, that's the one I'm looking forward to more than Star Wars right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Just that
I
a
told you
Monsters
this.
and Men song, I guess, probably, does it for me too.
Is that what
The
it is?
Crystal. Yeah, I mean, that's a great trailer, and like,
So I
really hits
saw it the
home.
one time, so I haven't seen the one where they're actually talking. I don't want to.
Yeah, it works actually. It's pretty funny. It's not that teaser though.
Um, jump into some director stuff. Seth Graham Green is in talks to direct The Flash, which is I don't know why the fuck happening.
Has he? He
He
hasn't
he
directed,
wrote the thing.
has he?
He hasn't directed anything. No,
Well,
not even a TV show. He hasn't done anything, and I guess because he wrote the screenplay and that he's had a couple of adaptations, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, The Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, made to the screen. It's like, oh, he's been around the set long enough. He kind of knows what they do. Let's give him a huge AAA tentpole movie with a superhero.
Well, I mean, the two things I'd have to say is like if he is getting the job, then that could be part of it. Is that he's shadowed some people, he knows well enough, and also if he's getting the job, then the studio would have to like him enough to be willing to give it to him. The flip
But
side,
it's just
the
asinine.
flip
It's
side of that
like
is it's just it could be a
the
horrible decision, and it's just more proof that Warner Brothers has no idea what the fuck they're doing with
let's go
DC.
back to last week. We were talking about Taika Waititi getting the Thor Ragnarok helming.
Hmm.
And it was like, well, that's interesting. Like, he's never done anything like that. But I was for it because I was like, I like his directing style, and sure. Whereas
Even though it's
this
only
is
been
just
one
like,
thing, yeah. I mean,
if you think about it, the sense it makes just as much sense for him to direct this film as it does for me or you or anyone with a
well, if I
podcast.
took the job, I wouldn't mind. It'd
I
be
wouldn't
nice.
mind either. I'm just saying, like, I can put some
Yeah, no,
words on
I
paper.
get
It
what you
doesn't mean
mean.
I can direct a fucking
Hey, now, well,
$200
yeah,
million
but
movie.
he's an established writer. He has to have a sense of
Not for
story.
original content,
No, well, for
for
playing around with it,
adapting or
yeah.
changing popular
I don't know.
works.
I mean, he's working pretty well in the Hollywood system if he's able to just be in the
Guess so.
talks for stuff like that. So, I mean, good for him.
Just kind of bizarre.
I would have to assume that if that were to happen, then there'd have to be some test shot or something. They'd have to establish him pretty well off right into it.
Which, it's just a rumor right now, but I thought it was definitely we're talking about because it's something that we keep mentioning.
Yeah.
It happened on our first episode, and we reference it, probably every other week or so. It's, just where things are going. But staying with directors, more change. Woody Allen is shooting his next film on 4K
Hmm.
for Sony.
Yeah. Well,
So Sony's providing the camera. It's one of their films. Pretty interesting. It makes sense.
no,
He's been around for so long. He's willing. When pioneers like him, adapt and try a new technology, it's proof that it's past just like something else that's out there.
I mean, yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, anyway, the way that Woody Allen shoots movies, he's
It
always
helps
yeah,
anyway.
he's always
Yeah.
shot on film, and that they're not necessarily known for their looks, at least not all the time. Like there's some
It's
great
usually like
yeah,
Manhattan
like
or
obviously Manhattan, but I mean, there you can you can make digital look great as well, and it's nice to see Woody Allen, I guess, try to do something different.
I mean, the stuff that he doesn't have any complicated camera work. He
Yeah,
usually likes tight locations anyway. Lots of movement, like walking and
I mean, it's
talking,
like
or like
in
just a tripod in the corner. So,
either way, and I mean, it's such a subtle thing, but there is a difference between shooting film and digital, and there's benefits to both. So I'm curious as to I'm sure I'll go in knowing at least by
mhm.
this point by now, because I just found out from you that yeah, it's shot digitally. I'll definitely feel that something's different, but I'm curious as to how, because I don't think Woody Allen is one of those guys where if he shoots digital, it's not going to be something where he just wastes it and turns in a
Yeah,
image that looks like video or something.
let me get a doggy cam. Let me try new things. We're gonna do a crane shot with the digital camera.
Yeah.
Costs less money, guys. More 4K news. Really cool in Canada. This next year, Rogers is gonna have live 4K TV with high dynamic range. They're gonna be broadcasting every Toronto Blue Jays home game of the next season and varied hockey matches. So that's a lot. Like
It's all
there's
moving forward.
just shy of 200 baseball games, so like 91 home games. That's a lot of 4K content.
Yeah, I mean, how soon do you think we're gonna stop talking about 1080p? If we aren't
Um,
already.
well, in the video games sphere, it's still what they're aiming for. Like most PS4 games are 1080p, but a lot of Xbox One is still 900p, which is a very undiscernible difference. You really can't tell the difference, really.
Hmm.
However, because of that change, like the Star Wars Battlefront beta that's out right now, it's only 900p on PS4 and 720 on Xbox One, which is a pretty big fucking difference. So I don't know. I think it's once all the content gets there, because most smartphones have full 1080 or at least
720.
like very close to it.
Yeah.
Oh, they definitely have 720. Well, not everyone, but the top of the line ones, they all have 1080p
Like the
or
ones that are out
better.
now, yeah. Like I think I'm
Yeah.
still rocking the 4. I don't think I have 1080 on that.
No.
No. Yeah.
But like the new iMacs are gonna have 4K displays. So I don't know. My guess is in the next like 5 years.
Yeah, for sure.
When VR becomes big, when it's getting big, is when 1080p is no longer
What's
gonna
the
matter at all,
resolution
right?
that you think we're gonna need for that? It's probably gonna be higher than 4K.
For
In
VR.
order to be really lifelike, I think so, yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be pretty lifelike now. It depends.
Well, now, but then there's going
Because
to
you
be
got to
a
remember
point
how
where we
close
get
your eye is to the screen.
yeah. Then there's a point though that where we get used to it, and if you get like an extreme close up in VR, you might be able to like pick up on the pixels at least after a while. Right?
I
Who
don't know if the
knows?
cameras. I don't know if they're gonna do stuff like that with the cameras, because I mean they're omnidirectional 3D, so you can't, if you got really close to someone, I think you'd kind of be like shaving the frame when you have someone's nose up against the edge of the frame.
Hmm.
It'd probably be something like that. You turn around and see nothing. I don't know. We're just speculating here.
I mean, that's really when
Um,
you do tech news. That's really all I can do at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so
but
uneducated on most of this.
But a couple other 4K things, like I just talked about 4K and HDR. The new HDMI cables are going to be certified. So, like right now, I guess it's hit or miss. You plug it into your device,
They're
and
not
it
always
might not
working.
give you exactly. Like it might still be 1080. So the HDMI Foundation, like the people that run the certification, are going to start stamping packages, letting you know for sure. And I'm sure it's also going to be gold plated with Ethernet, just to make sure that you're getting the best clarity out of your devices.
No, it's good
Which
that
totally makes
I mean
sense.
it's good. It's just that's proof. Like that's exactly why I keep telling people like, hey, don't invest in this way too early. It's too early to tell where 4K is
Yeah.
going to go. I mean, it's really like it should be set in at least a couple of years.
I mean, I've told you this in passing. You can get a Vizio 4K TV for like $6.99, I want to say. And it's not small. It's like 50 inches.
Yeah, I mean,
And that like if you don't want 3D and you don't want a smart TV or any of that shit, like you just want to experience it, even though the content's not really there
yeah,
yet, like you can do it on a budget.
yeah. I mean,
And
there's better things out there right now that,
oh
but
yeah,
yeah,
definitely, but
no, but I
you
get
know,
you.
it's like Roku 4's coming out, aka Roku 4K. It's gonna cost $130. Like now, Roku, Amazon, and Google have 4K options. Well, not necessarily Google, but basically. So Apple is
Apple's
they
way
fucked up.
behind.
It's like I
Yeah,
said. It's like I said. No, it's not even necessarily that they're behind. They make a big announcement for something that was they knew was going to be behind.
exactly. They're behind.
But it's like you though. It's like you just said. Like you know, you're not telling people to invest in it, and they know that. It's just they're fucking over the people that do know that. They're the people that are early adopters.
Hmm.
They're not going to buy Apple. Because if I had a 4K TV, there's no way that this new Apple TV is not even out yet.
Hmm.
I think it's still like a month down the line. If I have a 4K TV, there's no way I'm going to buy one. I mean, that's not a big part of the population, but it is for a device that's kind of useless if
Yeah.
you can buy a Chromecast for $35.
I mean, it's. I wonder if really at this point, if the Apple cult is enough that they're just getting lazy with
It
it.
totally is.
I mean, we'll see
it's
what the
not-
numbers are when this comes out, but I mean, that's just a
I mean,
bummer for this company.
Think about this. All Apple devices don't have disk drives anymore, even the Mac Pro
Yeah,
line.
no, I know. Like you have to buy
Before
your
they
own just to get that.
But this is what makes it even worse. Before they skimped on that, they never even implemented Blu-ray in their devices.
Hmm.
They stopped. They stopped at DVD and went, let's just be fucking cheapskates.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
We'll replace the DVD disc drive with the SD slot.
to be fair though, when they started doing that, streaming was already so big that there's physical media was already like on its way out, and Netflix was trying to
Well,
phase
they
out its
helped
DVD
push
business.
digital. They help push out the physical medium. This isn't related to anything we talk about usually, but there was a big thing on the internet that iBooks got the rights to the new digital versions of the Harry Potter books, which have like interactive illustrations and like mini games and stuff like that. Which I would assume, like, say it's like a picture of Dumbledore, it'll be moving, which is cool. But that's first they fucked over the music industry, and now they're doing movies, and now it's gonna be books. I'm okay with that. Reading. I used to be fully against ebooks, but when you're reading an ebook and you don't know a word, and you can do a long press on it, it gives you a definition right there.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, why was I reading books again?
Like, are you doing that right now? Like, do you have a Kindle or something?
I read on my smartphone, like on my Sony phone. I read on my phone before that. I use, Google Play Books. It's not bad. I mean, if I own the book, especially if it's a comic, I'd rather read it on paper.
Yeah.
Because it gives you a better sense of interacting or connecting with the story.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I'm kind of the same thing with me. Like, I'm not against reading on tablets. Like, that's where I read news articles, but.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still every time if I want to read a book, I just think it has to be a physical book in front of me, like where I can turn the pages. I don't know, just something feels weird about it. But then I'm sure if I started reading, it wouldn't really make a difference.
Yeah. No, yeah, I was exactly like you. I was like, I'm against it, and then once I started doing it, I was like, well, it doesn't really hurt.
I'm
really.
not really against it.
It's better for the environment.
I mean,
it's better for the
yeah,
environment,
but then
right?
I guess all it might go to show is it might be that thing of it's just a different way of experiencing it.
That's true.
Which,
it's also
I don't know because I don't really romanticize the the pages of a book because I'm not really that guy. I'm way more into film that I'll be way more defensive over that. But like
I
it
think
does
there's some romance in the way a book smells.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
definitely. Yeah.
New book versus old book versus like musty or maybe it was wet.
I think
or,
that goes for almost all physical media. Like I mean, you might laugh at this, but when you get a Criterion Blu-ray versus just a regular Blu-ray, like, and maybe it is because of the booklet that they have in there, but there is just something that smells different. I don't know why. It's just there is like that's one of the reasons why that label I think just really gets to me because there's just something comforting about the way that the packaging smells. It sounds stupid, but like I really
where they press the DVDs and the Blu-rays, it could be the facility.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the booklet though, the thick booklets have something to do with that too.
Huh. Like the ink they
now
use.
that we're talking about it, yeah. I mean, there's just something about it, and they do stand out from just regular Blu-ray boxes.
Talking about Blu-rays, I was at a Goodwill the other day, and I was just bored, so I was looking at their DVD and Blu-ray selection. They had like every Kevin Smith movie. And I was like, wow, someone just donated all their shitty movies. It was like Criterion version of Chasing Amy and Zack and Miri and like Clerks and Dogma. I was like, wow,
all the good ones.
Yeah, all the good ones. I was like, wow. There wasn't a Clerks 2 or like a mall. No, there was a Mallrats. Yeah.
Yeah. Aside from Cop Out and Jersey Girl, is there really a bad Kevin Smith?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think Cop Out's
Although
bad.
you like Jersey Girl. Yeah.
No, I think Jersey. I tried rewatching Jersey Girl. I couldn't do it. I think Cop Out's okay. I think it's funny. I think Sean William Scott brings a lot to it.
I think that's it, but
Morgan.
I think it's mostly mediocre. Like
Yeah,
watching that.
I think Zack and Miri is worse than it though.
Really?
The way it ends when they look in each other's eyes and there's that
very
moment
abrupt.
and the music plays.
No, the ending's very abrupt, but that movie's really fucking funny.
Like the Double Dutch Rudder can't save that movie, even though I reference that a lot.
That movie's fucking hilarious, sir.
I appreciate it for what it is. I love that it's like Kevin Smith kind of romanticizing how he filmed Clerks, but it tries much too hard to be a Judd Apatow movie.
Yeah.
As insofar as getting like 3 or 4 cast members for 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Oh yeah, no, like it's definitely trying way too hard to be that, and it really feels like. In a way, he's just too desperate to move on to the View Askewniverse, and he's having trouble like finding his identity on film. But it was
a stepping stone.
Yeah, but you know what? Funny is still funny. And
it's definitely funny.
And that movie I thought was absolutely hilarious. That I still like that movie a lot. Like I will, if I'm having a bad day and I would just want to laugh at something, that might be one of the things I pop in. I think there's a lot of memorable stuff in there. Not just Dutch Rudder, but Justin Long, like his scenes in there. They're pretty fucking funny. The porn,
I love Justin
Long.
The
porn titles,
all the porn stuff. Yeah,
I mean, it's a good Star Wars reference too.
The Sith, the shit returns.
Revenge of the shit.
Revenge of the shit.
All anal final chapter.
Moving on, some digital. Netflix, I'm sure, as you heard, has raised their base fee.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can still get the cheapo option, which you can only stream on one thing and you get one DVD at a time. That's still $7.99.
Well, I think it's just streaming. Like, there's no.
Yeah, but you don't get HD even.
Yeah, but there's no
standard def.
But there's no DVD attached to that, is what I'm saying.
Okay, well, their most popular plan is now $9.99 a month. However, if you're currently a member, you're grandfathered in until next October, so it's not all bad. But you knew this was coming, especially with them getting nominated for awards and all that shit. I mean, they still don't do offline streaming, but.
I mean,
you're not gonna come like it's $1. You're not gonna fucking
I haven't
care.
been paying attention to this at all. So are people bitching hardcore already?
I haven't seen anything really bad, but like, look, if you're a Netflix subscriber, you know it's worth the money.
Yeah.
And Amazon costs more even still with this raise. Hulu's the same price basically for less content, unless you really, really want to see Criterion Collection stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, it's still, I'd hate to say it, but like, I mean, most of the stuff is still a pretty good deal. Mm-hmm. I hope that no one's listening and they're thinking like, oh, that we should make it higher. But like, I mean, no, it's like I remember when.
Look, it's $120 a year now. Well, if you join now, anyway, which is about what Amazon Prime is. So.
I mean, that's fair. Like, and when I just remember when like around the time when people were getting angry about the price hikes, it was really when they split the DVDs and the streaming prices, and they were upset that
we're making Flixster or whatever the fuck he was called.
Yeah, well, no, I mean it was before that too, where people were just upset that they would have to pay like for streaming on its own. It's like, well, how dare you? This thing that you gave us for free originally without changing prices, and now we have to pay for it. And it's
people also stopped renting the DVDs anyway, so they had to find a way to keep that service in business.
I know, like, DVDs were still relatively hot then too, like, and it's still going now though. I think, like, I mean, once I'm settled in my place, I might restart my subscription on that.
Collection.
Yeah, I mean, because Redbox is nice, but that's for new releases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, if there's classics that are harder to get, that's what I go to the DVD service for.
You know what they should do? They should start doing a service like a library where you can go online and, like, kind of like Netflix, like, say, I want to rent this, and then they'll say, we'll tell you, we'll email you when it's shipped to your local Redbox.
Mm-hmm.
And then it could, like, stay there and see if anyone likes it, and they could do, like, chart charting on
Well,
that kind
yeah,
of
but I
stuff.
mean that's it's tough. If you're the only person that has demand for that, then
Yeah.
that'll be much tougher. But like
Or they could do like a voting system, like a poll. Like, what old movie would you like to see at your local
oh
Redbox?
yeah, the problem is that whenever you want to see something obscure, that's
Yeah.
typically me. Is I'm always wanting to see something that no one wants to see.
You can change your viewing habits.
No, I mean
Sti-
it's just I like if I want to I don't know what's a good one like
Sounds good.
probably some Criterion thing that like is just coming out.
Unshen Andalou.
No, that's online. I can just watch it on YouTube.
Uh, staying on
I mean, it's like if
Netflix.
I want to watch The Innocents, I guess for example, like
That's on my Halloween
yeah,
list.
that's a solid horror flick that not many people know about, so they'll probably see that title and be like, "What the fuck?" No.
Well, yeah, it's from like
Yeah,
1952 or
no, like
62.
I know.
Whatever.
Oh, The Birds. That's a horror movie I've heard of. That's been that everyone knows about. Sure, I'll pick that instead. Not knocking on that. It's just but that's a much more iconic title to the general public.
Anyway, back on Netflix. Eddie Murphy and Brian Grazer are working on a movie.
Hmm.
It's not solidified yet, but it just shows how strong their AAA, or not AAA, but their A-list cred is going. I mean, obviously Brian Grazer's worked with them before on the Arrested Development season 4.
Yeah.
But Eddie Murphy, that even though he's slipped at the box office the last couple of years, huge. Like he's been like on a comeback kind of since he was supposed to host the Oscars. I still think that if he had, what was that in 2010? It was 11, I believe, because it was when Heist Flick came out, or Tower Heist.
Yeah, Tower House.
That would have relaunched his career. But then Brett Ratner had to say that stuff about gay people. Good job. What was his quote? Rehearsals are for fags.
Yeah, which
There you go.
yeah, well, whatever. I don't know. I mean,
When you're in the industry, that's just not the thing you say.
yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't. I expect the guy to say douchebaggery like constantly, so I'm hardly hurt by it. I'm just kind of like, whatever. He's a fucking idiot. But yeah, no, not defending that whatsoever. I just wasn't surprised by. I mean, but what has Eddie Murphy been up to, man? Like,
Nothing.
Yeah.
His last movie was 1,000 Words, which I still want to see because I think it's a good premise, even though I heard it's bad.
yeah, I mean that came out like after years of being on the shelf too. So
Yeah. He hasn't done anything since then. I mean, he was at the Saturday Night Live 40th anniversary thing, or 30th, was it? Yeah. He was at that thing, and
he
he got like a
dropped
big
out.
standing ovation.
Never mind.
But I don't think he. Oh, yeah, I think he put out an album recently.
Mhm.
But probably just raising his kids and doing whatever the fuck he wants. I mean, he's still one of the biggest comedians on the planet.
Yeah, I mean he's
so,
fucking rich, so
yeah.
I think if he's gonna work on more stuff, I hope it works out and he's at least funny.
Well,
Like,
I'm sure Adam Sandler's deal will kind of trailblaze what other people do on Netflix.
Mhm.
Because, the Duplass brothers also have a deal kind of similar to what Adam Sandler does, or has right now. But that, what's it called? I always forget the name of it. His cowboy movies, Western.
yeah, no, like
is
Ridiculous
kinda like
Six
the-
or something.
Yeah, Ridiculous
Yeah.
Six. That's the first really big Netflix original, because we have Beasts of No Nation coming out in a week, which I'm assuming doing the review for. You got my text?
I'm down for it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna go live Thursday at midnight, so I'll probably watch it Friday.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do on that.
Yeah. Other digital, Amazon, and this is a rumor, but it totally makes sense. Like, I think anyone would, well, it's kind of obvious. They're already doing original programming. They're thinking about making a live TV streaming service, kind of similar to PlayStation Vue and Sling.
Mhm.
It'd be really attractive, especially if, as a Prime member, you got access to, like, Just Network. Like, think about that. It's like, you're a Prime member, not only do you get the movies and the music and the loaning library through Kindle, but you can also watch Fox, NBC, CBS, and ABC through our Prime
Like
service
it's basically
live.
what Hulu already has, except
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just Networks.
yeah, which I mean that's basically the shift in cable right there. Like that
Yeah.
that delivery system is changing. It has to.
It has to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Sling and PlayStation View are doing. You can watch live TV on Sling. Like, you want to watch, Comedy Central. I think that's like the one major that they don't have on PlayStation View. But like you want to watch USA or whatever live, like you can do it.
Mhm.
And you kind of have to in this day and age.
Isn't what's Xbox One doing? It's something like that, right?
They have a Sling app.
Yeah.
You're gonna get the app for Sling, yeah. I mean, they don't have their own service. What Xbox does is you can plug in any HDMI device into your Xbox. So you're supposed to use it kind of as like a media center. So say you have Xfinity or satellite or whatever, you can
Okay,
plug it in
yeah.
and then use it as like a network guide, or like say
Yeah,
you're
that's what
playing
I
a
was thinking
game
of. Yeah, I
and
got
your
you.
game's coming on, you can like snap it to your screen at the same time
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, okay, I got
Uh,
it.
yeah, some more TV adaptation and big name directors going there. Terry Gilliam is working on a Time Bandits TV series. I think it's like his only film of his that I still haven't
Not
seen.
yet.
I need to. Yeah, need to, especially before that show comes out. Would make I know the premise and it totally would make a good TV show.
I would. I mean, I don't know how if it's gonna fit with the movie or if it's just a longer
Mm-hmm.
like adaptation of it.
Maybe they could do like a Limitless type thing.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Like that could be fun though.
Because if memory serves, Time Bandits is kind of like the kids' non-stoner version of Bill and Ted.
Uh, yeah, that's fair.
It's like Explorers meets Bill and Ted,
Yeah,
basically.
just a lot more weirder than that. Like Bill and Ted has its own internal logic to it. Time Bandits is Terry Gilliam.
Yeah, with
Just
like
kind of yeah, just
dwarves
kind of
and
goes ape
stuff.
shit.
Also on that like same wavelength, Luc Besson is really busy in the TV realm. He has like a series lined up at Fox. He has one at ABC, and then obviously that from like a week or so when we were talking about the
And
Taken
yeah,
prequel show at NBC. But like one of the things he's writing is called Hunch, and it's about a cop that teams with a psychic to solve cases. It's supposed to be like Castle and Bones, and obviously it kind of sounds like Psych a little bit.
wasn't that a
But he's
joke at the
actually
end? Wasn't that a joke at the end of Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
no, that's Canine Detectives or no,
Something like
that's the name of
that.
it.
Yeah.
But it's like that was basically the concept. It was that Sarah Marshall was now on a show where she could like telepathically communicate with animals, and they were witnesses.
All right, or no, was that was also that's basically the concept for Dread, isn't it?
No, I mean
Yeah,
no.
yeah, I think so.
Well, I mean she has like her mutant powers where she can kind of like read people,
No,
but
she
this
was full
is
on psychic though.
sorta. I mean, she was blurry. She can do it through walls, if I remember correctly. Kind of reminds me of this. I was watching it like a Hercule Poirot episode earlier, where it was like the dog was the key witness. I saw half of it, so I don't know how it ended. But like, related to exactly to that, I didn't even plan that. Miss Marple, like Christie's character, is getting a young version series at CBS.
Hmm.
So I'm sure it's gonna be like Miss Marple in her late 20s.
Yeah,
That's Hollywood.
I got no comment.
No comment. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm all for Sleuths, so I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm excited, but I think that's cool. Kind of in line with and then there were none getting the adaptation out through Fox, so
yeah,
maybe she's on the rise, making a comeback.
we'll see.
Kind of revered as like the best whodunit writer of the recent times. So
We'll see how that works out.
um, I don't know. The rest is kind of a jumble, just random stuff like things that might be happening. Jake Gyllenhaal's got two things. Perhaps he's been tapped to be in Bong Joon-ho's next flick. So I guess he's getting a lot of work after Snowpiercer. I don't know.
I mean,
I'm
yeah,
assuming that this is going to be another English language film.
I mean, I'm guessing so if Gyllenhaal's in it, but like,
Yeah.
is that a U.S. finance or is that another co-production? Like, what's?
I don't know. I didn't really look into it. I'm guessing it's going to be like the same deal,
Yeah,
co-production.
because I don't think the Weinsteins helped produce Snowpiercer. I think they just picked it up for distribution.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah.
Maybe they chipped in like something on the back end if it did well.
I mean, there were enough investors just based on foreign pre-sales for getting that cast together. So, like, yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I
But
haven't seen The Host. I haven't seen anything he's done besides Snowpiercer.
oh yeah, well, anything like I love Snowpiercer. That was one of my favorite movies of last year. So, like anything else he's working on, like right away in Gyllenhaal, that's a good grab. So,
I think something better for Gyllenhaal is supposedly him and Tatiana Maslany, the star of Orphan Black, are going to be in a film called Stronger by David Gordon Green about the Boston Marathon bombing.
yeah,
And it's going to be a biopic about the guy who lost both of his legs while cheering on his wife.
I think we talked about this before, right?
We could have said something about
Or I think we
natural
mentioned it. Like,
disasters.
no, we mentioned that specifically. Or
Maybe,
yeah,
but yeah, he looks like he's working on that for sure, and Maslany is thinking about it, like circling it. But that sounds right, even though not in terms of the content, but probably the angle might sound similar to Rendition. Bombs going off and him being near it.
yeah, maybe. Which I haven't seen it, but
I saw that. That was the first movie I saw twice in theaters. I wasn't happy about that because the
that's
first
a
time I saw it,
weird
it was
choice.
no. Well, I was getting there. The first time I saw it, it was like on a date. Basically, it was like
Again,
my
a weird
girlfriend at
choice.
the time. No, we like Jake Gyllenhaal.
Again,
And then,
based on content, a weird fucking choice.
it's fucking Jake Gyllenhaal, man. Girl likes
All
him.
right.
They're gonna see any movie he's in. That's how it works with Johnny Depp. You think
All right.
Transcendence and what was the other one that we fuck? What was it called?
All right,
Started with an M, didn't it?
Whatever.
Earlier this year, February.
Mordecai.
You think either of those films would even got 20 million?
Okay,
if he
well
wasn't
let me
in it?
ask you something. Did she like it just based on Gyllenhaal being in it?
I think she liked it in general. I didn't. But anyway, the
Okay.
second time I saw it was like a couple of days later because my grandmother like invited me out to some screening room in Hollywood, and I wasn't gonna say no. It was like old people. It was for a good cause.
It was a nice room,
But
right?
I was like, I can't believe I'm watching this. Yeah, it was okay. I was like, I can't believe I'm watching this shit again though.
That's a
Second,
weird one to go by, though. The first one to see twice.
The first one I did on purpose was The Muppets. Totally worth it.
You don't get out to the movies that often, man.
I just don't go twice.
Oh man.
It's not like if I see a movie, I know it.
Like, so how many? You only saw The Dark Knight once in theaters?
Yeah,
For real?
No. I don't rewatch movies. The only time I've done it,
It was The Dark
intentionally
Knight.
was
That was the event.
The Muppet. Look, The Muppets and Mad Max Fury Road. Only two times I've done it intentionally.
Wow, like not even The Dark Knight.
No.
I mean, or yeah, you weren't that big onto the prequels, but not even Revenge of the Sith.
Nope.
Man, like,
If I was this age, I would have definitely seen Batman Begins more than once.
no, I mean, the Dark Knight, like that's still my record for most movies I've seen in a theater, like
It's
ever.
like 8, right?
10.
Oh, wait, did you saw it again when they did the marathon?
No. There was I think an Oscar qualifying re-release in IMAX that they did like
Uh-huh.
for like 2009, but that was my 10th time. There were 5 in IMAX and 5 in regular theaters.
But wait, were you working at your theater at the time?
For the last one, I was.
Wow.
Yeah,
I don't think I could ever
Then
do
again,
that.
I had friends though that were working there at that time, so I was able to get some.
So you
free
didn't pay
passes.
for all of them?
Not all of them, but for most of them, yeah.
I don't think I could ever do that. That's not how. Like I think I'd be bored.
Yeah, but
Depends on the movie.
Yeah, but I'm crazy like that.
I guess so.
Yeah,
I only got a couple more things, mostly like remakes and whatnot.
I'm not gonna let this go. Rendition, like,
Hey,
I will bring it back up.
wasn't my choice. Wasn't my I have no desire to ever see that movie again.
God.
I saw it twice too many. Papillon, about
Steve McQueen?
movie. Yeah, that's supposed to get a remake. So on the pile of things that need new versions.
It really doesn't.
Along-
Like,
I'm not
Yeah.
saying it does. I'm just saying, according to Hollywood.
yeah, that's a weird
another
one. Like, have you seen Papillon?
I've seen clips. I haven't seen the whole thing. Dustin Hoffman's in that, right?
Yeah, no, that's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's not like a remake would be bad. It's just that's a weird one to do just for that reason. But
Who knows?
yeah,
Steve McQueen. It seems like every Steve McQueen movie is going to remake. There's already Magnificent Seven. I would assume that Bullet could get one in the near future.
yeah, but I mean, those are movies about badasses. Like Papillon, that's that's a prison movie. There's nothing really
Yeah.
badass about it, or unless you're trying to make an Oscar-worthy film.
I'm assuming they would.
I mean, that's
Who
like the
knows?
equivalent of doing a remake of The Secret in Their Eyes.
Well, they are doing that though.
Exactly.
So. They're also making a remake of the '80s movie Flatliners that Ellen Page is going to star in.
I've not
She's going to be the Julia Roberts role.
seen it.
I know the concept. I know it has a really good cast, like Kiefer Sutherland, fucking like Kevin Bacon, and who knows. Like it's a series of like 6 or 7 people in the late '80s that were like big time or about to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the concept is like if you stop someone's heart you experience like a certain realm, basically. Like, you have a certain feeling, like things come to shape or whatever. You have like a near death experience, literally, and you can zap someone back to life, and it's kind of like the best high you can have, or something like that. I still, like I said, I still haven't seen it.
Damn.
So that kind of makes sense for a remake. Like, that sounds something right up the alley for today's
Yeah,
kids.
no, like that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. So not necessarily a remake, but things on the future. Expendables 4. They're making another one. It's coming next year. Well, not next year, but 2017.
And moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on. What do you got?
Nothing. That's it. That's just horrible, isn't it?
Whatever. I didn't.
This is This was the third one. They reconciled. They said the reason it didn't make any money is because it leaked on the internet,
but
and all of our fans saw it.
You can't really say that that's wrong. Like,
it's definitely not wrong.
yeah, that's
but
something
at the
that
same
everyone
time,
leaked right away. Like,
one Expendables was enough. I've seen all three. One was enough.
2 made a shitload of money, though. I mean, I think it made more.
Because Chuck Norris is in it. They had a better cast. You got Bruce Willis, Chuck Norris, and Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, well, I don't know. And then 3, like...
No.
I don't... Well, there, we can't really... It's a shame that got leaked, because if it tanked the way that it did...
The Wesley Snipes joke was, like, the best thing about that movie.
Yeah, though, I mean, if it tanked the way that it did without the movie getting leaked, then we could have blamed it on the PG-13, which would have been interesting, but... I don't know, who knows what would happen. I don't think
like,
there was...
What are they even going to... Is this one going to follow the Young Guns again? Who knows?
I don't know.
Because that was obviously them trying to make, like, a built-in, like, spin-off.
Hey, though, you know what? You got to give Dolph Lundgren work. Or...
Yeah, well, I mean...
I don't know, whoever else
He's
is in
funny.
there. Like,
Jet Li.
yeah, basically, Jet Li and Jason Statham got to give their friends some work. I don't remember who the fuck is in it. Like...
It's a big cast.
Whatever. Yeah.
I mean, you got Terry Crews, the people you already said, plus Wesley Snipes, I would assume, is making a return.
Yeah.
And obviously, Stallone and Schwarzenegger.
I mean, yeah, let's move on, man. Like, I really don't give a shit about this franchise. Like, as far as, like, just testosterone-fueled movies, like, that's, I don't know, that's just one where I'm just like, I feel nothing. Like, nothing feels badass.
There were some cool motorcycles, like, stunts in the third one, but yeah, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
One other thing in the future, New Line is making a Met Gala heist flick that's going to feature an all-girl team burgling something. I'm sure you know about this event. It's called, like, the Oscars of the fashion world. Everyone who's someone shows up in, like, their best gowns or suits. So it seems like it could be interesting, especially if they get good cameos.
I mean, yeah, like, I don't... any heist film can be a good film, but... Yeah, and they're on motorcycles?
No, I was talking about Expendables on the motorcycles.
Oh.
I think this is just... I think the way it's
Damn,
being
I was
pitched
picturing
is
something completely different.
No, it's like a all-female Ocean's 11 tackling... Or not 11 people, but like Ocean's 11 if they're all women at the Met Gala.
Yeah, I mean, that could be fun. Like, I don't know. It's... I hate to say it, but...
Sounds like a Paul Feig movie.
Yeah, well, it sounds like something like... God, what's a good example? What came out? Like, the thing with Cameron Diaz and Leslie Mann and what's her face about the dude that was...
Oh,
yeah.
Was that a heist?
No, but like my point is that this sounds like that could just be a chick flick.
It's
like,
called the Other Woman, right?
Yeah, like it sounds like it could be that kind of thing that's specifically geared to women. Which
By the way, you're thinking of Kate Upton. I don't know how you wouldn't know that name.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I forgot for 1 second. Yeah. What do you mean there?
I mean, she's like kind of voted as like like sexiest woman in the world or whatever.
Oh really?
Or like she was for a little like a stint there. Or at least she was like the it girl.
Well, yeah. No, she's cute.
One last news item.
About acting ability, I don't know, but
well, she's not supposed to be a good actor. She's a model. It's like Heidi Klum's not the best actress.
Anyway, yeah, let's keep going.
One last news piece until we move into more like concept type stuff or like hot topics. Junkie XL is going to be scoring Deadpool.
Yes.
So yeah, that's a pretty good follow-up to Mad Max.
No, I mean, he's also got the Batman theme coming up too.
Oh, I didn't know. He's doing just the theme?
I think that's how it's working. Is Hans Zimmer's working on the score, or they both are. But that's
Uh-huh.
yeah, that's the trade-off. Is that Junkie XL is doing Batman, and Hans Zimmer's just gonna keep doing the Superman theme,
It's pretty cool.
and they're gonna work together on that. Which it's not like Hans Zimmer partnerships. Like a lot of people forget about this, but The Dark Knight and Batman Begins was also him and James Newton Howard. Like
Yeah.
yeah, and a lot of people just fall into that trap of just saying, "Oh, it's all Hans Zimmer," when it's not.
I mean, he is the name,
Yeah.
so. So here's some interesting things that happened this week. First, and we're getting really close. We're about 10 days away now, actually. It is the 11th of October, 2015, to the 30th anniversary of Back to the Future. So there's two cool things that happen that are connected to that. Pepsi's actually going to be releasing Pepsi Perfect from the Cafe 80 scene, but it's going to be like really hard to find. And then
Tell
I'm
me
sure you
7-Eleven's
saw.
got it, or somebody.
I
Come on.
doubt it. This is like I looked into it. It's like really complicated. Like they have it at New York Comic Con right now, but you're gonna have to. I don't
Man.
know exactly. Like it's the same shit. And the bottle is kind of weird, but it looks pretty similar to what it actually is. But even cooler than that is that Universal made a joke Jaws 19 trailer.
I have not seen it yet. I gotta.
You should see
Yeah.
it. It riffs a little too hard on the 22 Jump Street closing credits, but still pretty funny.
Oh man, I gotta see it.
So I got two last things here before we talk about what we ingested or digested. Kind of interesting. The SAG-AFTRA is in a spat right now with the video game industry,
Mhm.
and they've gone so far as to vote to authorize a strike because they want royalties for their members when a title crosses 2 million copies sold, I believe. So basically, there's not going to be any voice actors for video games for a little bit. Which isn't that big a deal right now since all the AAA games are done
Yeah,
with that
but,
right now. Like, this affects the games for next year.
Yeah, like once those are released, then yeah, they're gonna feel that.
Yeah. So I don't get it. Like, it's always about getting more money. That's why people go on strike, But it's not like video games usually get. I mean, they're like Kevin Spacey being in Call of Duty last year was pretty big. But for the most part, like it's not like the cast is huge or anything.
Mhm.
You would think that they'd be happy with the work that they're getting.
Well, but then again, who knows how much they're getting paid to begin with?
Yeah.
I mean, that's some that we're not really that I don't know about. So for all I know, they could have a cause. But I mean, yeah, like the only people that are going to lose from this is really the consumers that buy these games. Like that
Oh, yeah,
should
the studios
be
definitely have the money to pay more.
yeah.
Like I said, from what I could read, what I understood, this was about royalties. It's like once they pass 2 million copies sold, which isn't a lot of games. I mean, obviously, if it's a AAA game, it's going to.
Mhm.
But then, like, not all those even have voice acting, like Madden or something like that. Like, there's no voice actors. So, I don't know. Hopefully, things are all settled because no one likes to strike. The better story, probably the coolest, not necessarily coolest, but most interesting thing I read all week. I read it on Friday. That Los Angeles Unified School District has suspended all filming on their properties after discovering a porn flick was filmed at a school in 2011. I know. So yeah, like the school officials
That's funny, but
yeah, like the school officials didn't vet the production company, and they were like, "Oh, you want to film on our campus? Yeah, sure. Yeah, we need more money. Yeah. And like the name was like Petite Private Girls 3 or something.
Okay.
Like something very obvious. Like it's obviously a porno name.
yeah, I mean, if this had been like recently, then sure, but
No, they
this
just
was,
found
yeah,
out like this week.
like okay,
They didn't know. It took them 4 years to realize.
stupid.
I thought it was funny because it
Yeah.
reminded me of the girl next door. It's basically what they do.
No, I mean, yeah, there was also
I think it was called like Hamilton High or something, and like they had some shots of the school
Yeah.
with like background like B roll of like kids walking.
I mean,
or-
shooting
I
in a
don't
porno in a school, that's been like, Community did that joke recently this year. I mean, it's a good joke, but
This happened. It's
like, and they're doing it now
Legally.
after 4 years, like,
legally. No, they're not taking any action against it. What? Like they can't sue the production company. They've
no,
just
they just
ceased-
banned it, like,
Yeah, no, they've ceased all production until they can probably fire whoever doesn't do their job.
Yeah, I mean it. Well, they got to get that stuff sorted out, but
I thought it was funny. It was like
it
just
is funny, but
ridiculous.
it's like 4 years, really.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at
It's
least you
like
got no perverts working in the school district,
you
right?
realize that someone within that time graduated from high school and then graduated from college.
4 years,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, like within 4 years. Yeah, just saying. I mean,
I mean, if it's possible, like what if they're like about to be done with senior year?
I mean, whatever. Let's not get too deep into this, but I'm just
Well, they
saying that's
got
like a
pretty
long
deep into
time.
it.
Yeah.
It was a penetrative experience. Balls, that joke didn't work. So
No,
let's.
I mean,
What'd
I
you watch
don't know
this
where to
week? I'm
go from
sure.
this, but
I'm sure you didn't watch anything really, except at like in your common room, right?
well,
What'd you get
speaking
into?
of deep penetration, I can't. No, there's no joke in
Nope,
there.
you're bad. Nope.
All right. Well, last
Whipped
movie.
cream bikini.
Oh, there is. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I'll go with new stuff though, not stuff I rewatched. But before I left Orange County, I saw Sicario, and this is the I don't know how to pronounce his name, Dennis Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. No, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, he's a good filmmaker, but
What was the other thing he worked
yeah,
on
he also
recently?
did Enemy and Prisoners.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
which
yeah.
are both
Prisoners was good.
yeah, are both really solid movies.
I still plan to do a Enemy and the double feature.
Like Enemy is very it's much more I want to say metaphysical, or it's way more out there, and it's more of an art film. It's not as focused narratively like something like Prisoners or Sicario, but Sicario, like it's a really good
Yeah.
movie. Like it's
Oh yeah, it
really,
is.
yeah, it's really, really tense. There's a lot of great performances. There's a really unnerving score, which I originally thought was Junkie XL, but I guess it's
You talking Sicario
yeah, for
or
Sicario.
Enemy? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just really, really intense. Like there's I I don't know. Part of me though at the same time like kind of questions like if this is if that's really, I want to say it's a heavy exaggeration of what Juarez is like. I mean, because just it's like every single corner of this movie is like grim. It's like it's pretty amazingly grim, like in just a way that's like really like ugly and beautiful. But it's like yeah, I thought it was a really really solid thriller. There's a lot of people that are gonna be talking about this during Oscar time and put it on top 10 lists and such. Like I agree with what they're saying, even though I won't put it that high. But yeah, Emily Blunt is great. Benicio del Toro is fucking excellent. Josh Brolin does a great job just playing like that laid back douchebag that's just doing his job
Kind
in
of
the
what he
office. Yeah, I
does.
mean it's a really good movie, and this is the guy that's supposed to be doing Blade Runner. Just based on this, like I liked Prisoners a lot. I thought it was a really well made movie, but like just based on Sicario, like yes, I could totally see this guy making a movie set in that world, especially if it's being shot by Roger Deakins, and if it's the same guy doing that score, then like I'm all for seeing another Blade Runner film. Like
Can you imagine that before the Blade Runner like sequel or remake or whatever it's gonna be is made, that Ridley Scott makes a prequel to it? You would probably do it. Like, I don't put it past him at this point.
I don't know, like he's getting. Who know? I mean, when Ridley Scott like talks about something, it's like you never know if that's the project he's going to be working on next because he's always working on something. Like there's a
Uh,
ton of stuff he's attached to doing, and you never really know if it's going to get made for sure. I
yeah.
mean, like
So Sicario. What else?
what? Okay, when I got here, my first trip to the Alamo Drafthouse, I made the
That's right. You saw the Scorch Trials, right?
yeah of all movies, I decided to see the Maze Runner, which I don't. Did you see the first one?
No, still haven't seen it.
I mean, it's a really good movie. I liked it. It was fun, and
I know it's supposed to be like better than the Hunger Games.
uh, well, the first one,
Yeah, the first one.
yeah,
I mean.
yeah, I'd say that for sure. The first one, it was a solid movie. It had a decent build up, and then basically it ends. I so much for spoilers because the fucking trailers are out there, but it ends with them getting out in the maze and in the real world,
Yeah, yeah.
and
And it's all fucked up.
yeah, and the I like the design of this post-apocalyptic world. There's some nice action sequences that stand really well on their own that are pretty intense, and I mostly like I mean, this stood out to me because you've heard me bitching all summer about just how some summer movies, like, I just feel like it's CGI just being shat onto the screen with no like personality whatsoever into it. But like, there was a special effect in here, like just the design for the post-apocalyptic cities themselves, like they look so well realized, and just the actors react to them really well. But then there's just one particular moment where a building falls apart on the inside, and I just thought that the effects look beautiful there. So I mean, as far as CGI, like, it can work really, really well. That's all I got to say about that. But as far as for this movie itself, like, it just feels like filler. I don't know where this series is going. They're just kind of aimlessly wandering around into set piece from set piece. And there's no character growth whatsoever. Everyone's basically the same person as they were when they were established in the first one. So, who knows where this is going. As far as my
understanding is, most of these movies, it's not necessarily about the story. Is there action? Is there music throughout? Are there young people who look good on screen having romances? I mean, and that's kind of what it is.
Yeah, but I mean,
and if it does that, then it's okay. Especially if they throw in some kind of dystopia or post-apocalyptic or whatever.
It gets by fine enough, but narratively, I think it could go better. But we are going to get. I don't know if it's a third and a fourth movie, or if it's just the third one that's closing it. But
yeah, I don't remember. I know he's coming back.
Yeah,
but I can't. I think it's just one.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see how this wraps up, and hopefully it'll be interesting. But I really. That's the best I got from the sequels. I liked quite a few of the action sequences, the way that they're put together.
Okay, well, fuck the movie.
Yeah, and even
how was
actually wait, hold up. I gotta say this because I mean, basically in this world, it is a zombie outbreak, and you know what? Like, there are moments where I felt like it could have.
Oh, maybe... that's what I heard, that they shifted the tone and kind of made it like a hard PG-13.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I thought it was pretty, like, those things look fucking vicious. Like, I don't think, sometimes if you really look deep into it, like, it's like, okay, yeah, it's obviously, there's some CGI at play, but I thought it looked horrific in a way that really worked for it. Like, it looked pretty fucked up and pretty scary. So, I mean, kudos for this movie for doing that, to do a zombie apocalypse for, like, the young adult crowd.
Review the theater. Get to the theater. They all care about the theater, dude. Tell me about their Mondo shop.
The milkshake that I had was amazing. I didn't see the Mondo shop.
Well, tell me about what kind of beer they had on pint.
I didn't.
Like, what could you get on draft?
I
know you didn't drink it.
Yeah, I went for brunch, but so I didn't really look at the beer menu. But I had a really fucking amazing $5 shake.
This is a $5 milkshake?
It happened to be $5. It's not called that. Like, it was basically a coffee milkshake, but it was an espresso shake. It was really fucking good. Like, that's the French toast that I had, not bad. Like, it's like most restaurants. It's they serve French toast. No one really makes amazing French toast, really. But
did you watch it? Did you eat during your showing?
I did.
Or before?
I did. I ate during.
Ouch. I don't think I could ever do that.
Well, that's the way that it is. It's like, you write down your order, and then, they pick it up. It comes in during, and they give you your check, like, within the last 30 minutes. Like, I mean, yeah, I was thinking that during it of, like, man, I'm really kind of multitasking. This might be a problem, but, then again, I did the same thing the next night. I went to a screening of Serenity. And, but that was something I saw before, but, like, I did enjoy that one.
Did you see Firefly?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, Serenity's a lot of fun. Like,
yeah, I have the collector's edition DVD.
Mm-hmm.
I have to rewatch Firefly sometimes.
Yeah, but anyway, Maze Runner, it's okay. Doesn't really hold up to the first one, but I don't know. It's a fairly passable piece of entertainment. One more thing that I saw was I finally saw 99 Homes, and that's the
with
Andrew Garfield and
Zod, yeah.
Yeah, God, why am I blanking up on his name? Fuck.
Michael Shannon,
yeah. And really, it's great. Like, I think, at the end of this year, this might be on the top 10 list for me. Like, it's really just, like, it's basically about this guy who gets, just evicted from his home, and, he ends up having to team up with the guy that kicked him out.
Ones?
Yeah. like, and he has to make his money back by kicking other people out of their homes, and the way that these scenes just play out is it's really just fucking intense and like frightening and just disorienting, and like it's really just difficult to watch. Just like you realize like you're just watching these scenes basically play out. It feels like real time, and I mean really it just if like just that idea of like being forced out of your home and having to choose what to take with you in a matter of minutes, and then having everyone come in and throw your shit on the lawn and you have nothing to do with it. Like it's just such like a horrible situation to imagine being in, and the way that they present that just feels so raw and so real. And I mean really just like all the performances in this movie, like it's just like Garfield like plays it so naturalistically. Michael Shannon just great at being a dick, even though he kind of has his sort of redemptive moment, or at least why he justifies why he does what he does. But I mean, really, it's a great movie, man. Like, I think you should check it out if you got the time.
Probably wait for the DVD.
You got no choice but to do that, right?
Well, I mean, I do have a choice. It's just like I still haven't seen The Martian,
Yeah.
I might see Steve Jobs this week if I can find a theater near me that has it.
Yeah, I think
I'm lucky enough to have the early release.
I think the Alamo is playing it early for me, but
yeah, well, you're in the city for it.
I am,
but most people in the middle of the country have no chance. But
you're close.
No choice. You have to wait a couple of weeks.
You're close to LA, man. You're fine.
Yeah, I mean, you've been in my car recently. I watched a couple things this week. Mostly stuff that was on my list. I threw in one curveball. I saw Straw Dogs, the original by Sam Peckinpah.
What'd you think?
A little too artsy for me. It kind of reminded me of Last House on the Left, but not as weird.
The original,
gory.
or
yeah, the original. Because I watched that last year during my Halloween thing, and I really liked that. Like that was straight up exploitation horror, like really good thriller. And this was similar territory. I thought there was some really interesting stuff going on, especially with the rape scene, but then like the choice of not showing the body, which like I read into it and it kind of worked, but really weird dynamic stuff going on here, and it wasn't gruesome enough for me. Like you've seen it, right?
Yeah, no, I love.
Okay,
I
that
love
bear
that
trap should have fucking chomped his head off.
Okay.
Like I wanted blood. Not just him laying on the ground dead now.
Oh, there's limitations back then. I mean, keep in mind, like, that movie really set people off, like, as far as violence. Like, it was one of the 3 movies that year, too, that...
Yeah, French Connection.
And Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just, like, really just pissed off a bunch of people because of how violent it was.
I mean, the rape scene in this isn't nearly as graphic as Clockwork Orange, though.
Oh, no, but I mean, it's still like...
Or even just the tone of that movie makes it so much worse.
Just watching, it's so uncomfortable to watch, too. Like, it's
in
just
this
such
one,
a fucked
like,
up scene.
I thought...
Like,
the first half of the rape is definitely...
Yeah, she borderline likes it, which is fucked up.
Well, I mean, they grew up together.
Yeah.
And, like, that's why I was watching. It was, like, when like, her pantyhose rip and she kind of, like, basically shows them all her underwear...
Mm-hmm.
Like, that one was like, oh, that was kind of an accident. But then when she's upstairs and she walks up with no shirt on and, like, just flashes all of them on the roof.
Yeah.
Even after Dustin Hoffman says, oh, don't forget to close the curtains. And her not wearing a bra and, like, all these little things, I was like, well, yeah, she wanted it to happen.
No, and then there's, like, there's that whole debate of whether or not the movie is sexist. Like, I think I wrote on Letterboxd, like... a kind of defense on that I just I thought it was just a movie about shitty people to begin with, and that it's not like, but then again you could absolutely make that argument and say that okay, Sam Peckinpah is sexist, maybe it's a thing of the time. It's not one of those, it's not something I want to argue, but
it's one of those rare movies where I kind of wanted to watch the remake now more.
Like, I don't ever plan on watching the remake.
Because it has a good cast.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I heard it was a waste of time from some people. I think people are mostly split on it, though, but...
I saw the trailer, and I went, this actually looks like a better version, because the story's really good.
Isn't that the trailer with the shitty cover of Sweet Child of Mine?
Maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was looking at the images. Whatever.
Well, it's the same poster, though.
Yeah. Which is, well, actually, in the new one, in the reflection in the glasses that are broken, you can see the rapist. Alexander Skarsgård.
And I don't know.
So that's cool. That's a cool addition. But yeah, it's the same poster.
I mean, I don't know. Looking at them side by side, I just remember feeling the original poster. It feels much more iconic.
Oh yeah, it's Justin Hoffman.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, whereas the other one feels like a bit of a Photoshop imitation. But no, I mean, I really like Straw Dogs a lot. It's not an easy movie, and that's kind of what I like about it.
Yeah, it was a good watch. I mean, it wasn't exactly a thriller.
No.
It felt like a cheapened version of Last House on the Left, even though that came out.
I don't know, but
after this.
I don't know about you. It doesn't sound like it, but when I first saw it, like that last half hour where they're just trying to break into the house, like just really intense. Like it just all plays out in real time. There's really no score whatsoever. You know, just all these like I just remember really being struck by the sound, like just how fast everything was moving. Like
I had to raise my speakers because it was all low.
No, I mean, well, it's like simple things like footsteps and like glass breaking and like just the constant laughing and whatnot. Like I really got into it just based on that.
I watched one other non-horror, and then I'll talk about the three that I did. I caught the Manson Family Vacation film, which is kind of going around on Twitter right now. It's produced by the Duplass brothers. Jay Duplass stars in it. It's his first starring role. Pretty interesting. Like, I might raise my score on Letterboxd half a star, but like, pretty basically mumblecore with a better budget.
Mm-hmm.
Just story about two brothers. One happens to be adopted, and like going around looking at like all the Manson, like the Tate murder location spots and stuff like that. Like, pretty interesting. Like it was a fun watch. Some of it was funny. I really like Jay Duplass's brother in the movie. It'd been really cool if the Duplass brothers were actually in it, because I want to see them play brothers in a film, either in one of the things that they make for Netflix or just in general. But it's been established now that Jay can act as well, so I think that'd be really interesting. But I'd give it a shot. I'm very confident that it's going to be on Netflix soon. It seems very much so like a Netflix movie. So yeah, it wasn't bad. But the three actual films I watched this week, the real ones, were I did a double feature of The Purge and Sinister. Purge was whatever. It was like a standard home invasion movie, with a really good premise.
It's not,
that isn't. Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not bad. That's why I liked it. I didn't expect too much of it though.
The premise is A+ material that is just like the other side of them making an indie movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, ooh, let's try to up the stakes.
Well, that's what The Purge 2 does. Is like it just goes out there.
Yeah, and I heard it's really bad because it doesn't do it right.
It's one of those, it's one of those movies where I think people just imagine the premise in their own head of like, they should do it this way, the way that I imagine it, because everyone can picture like in some way of how that would be awesome. Like, I was just willing to like see it how the filmmakers wanted to do it, and for the first one, like it's a pretty cool like low budget Carpenter-esque horror flick, and that's what I dug about it.
It wasn't
yeah,
bad.
No. Like I'm not saying that. Like I get you. It's just like I get it that it doesn't fulfill what other people's expectations may have been, and marketing for Blumhouse, they have a tendency to overmarket or just make the movie seem like bigger than what they're actually gonna be.
My problem was more so with the kids in it. I thought that the casting was kind of weird. And also in Ethan Hawke's character, I didn't really like who he was, which is a problem for me because I usually see a movie if he's in it for him.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of weird, especially following it up with Sinister, which is miles above. Like really, like
absolutely.
After like I saw it, I was thinking, or like even during, I was thinking about your review for Sinister 2 a couple of weeks back, and I was like, yeah, fuck, I really wish I saw that now.
Well,
because the mythology. So good.
Yeah.
That found footage stuff on the Super 8 was so fucking like eerie. Probably the best horror film I've seen from like recent years.
Absolutely. I mean, you know what? You got to retract. I'm going to retract that Sinister 2 statement a little bit because it definitely will not live up to that first movie.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
I know that they use other medium like vinyl and reel to reel. And kind of toy with the mythology and how what's his name,
Bagul
or whatever,
Bagul, yeah,
Bagul like can interact with our realm.
Uh-huh.
But Like it was like I thought there were a couple jump scares too many, especially the final one right before the
Yeah,
credits.
no, I hate that one.
Like that was I was like that was so fucking cheap.
At the same time though, like I actually, because I own the Blu-ray and I did watch it with the audio commentary, and they brought it up. It's
Uh
like, it was a note from the studio to do that, but because it's a horror film and the ending is just so downbeat, like you do have to end the movie in a way to get your audience feeling, good in some way that, like that they saw a horror movie instead of just having a fade out and just feeling really fucking
yeah.
depressed at the end. So it's like I get that, but
It definitely
I hate that
there was
ending though.
there was some weird pacing for the ending. Like it didn't feel fully actualized. Like it felt more like a cliffhanger for a TV
Yeah,
show.
like I had that same reaction
But
too,
like
but yeah,
that's a minor complaint because like everything up until the end and even the end itself, just not like the final like two
hmm
3 minutes, really fucking good. Like Ethan Hawke nails it in that movie.
yeah. No, I mean, like I really, I mean, just for that ending specifically, because that was a big thing when it came out and people talked about it. Like I had that reaction, like me and my friends when we walked out the theater had a reaction of just but like upon rewatching it several times, like it really works for the story.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
Like they tie
that's
up all loose ends. Like you knew it was going to happen that way once you get fully immersed in what's happening and what these videos mean
hmm
and all that shit. And so there really wasn't another explanation. Like there wasn't another way that it could have ended. It's just it feels really
it feels
sudden.
like, yeah, as an audience like horror experience, it just kind of like doesn't give you what you want. But what I really like about the movie is like I have seen it several times, and it's rare that horror films are rewatchable. But because the characters are so
Fucking
well fleshed out,
spooky.
especially Ethan Hawke, like there's quite a few
The
reasons to just
ghoul.
dig back into it. Yeah, and you know what, I gotta say it, like that lawnmower gets me
Uh
every
huh.
fucking time, dude. Like, just holy
The
shit.
fucking that the first time you notice his presence, and it was in the trailer, and it's still like the trailer itself is why I didn't want to see this to begin with. But when he's like looking at his chalkboard or whatever,
hmm
and the screen in the background, which is like on a freeze frame, shifts when Bagul moves on that freeze frame, like fucking goosebumps. So spooky, like such a good like low budget scare.
hmm I mean, like
Oh
I promise
man,
you, if you watch the sequel, it won't live up to that at all. But like
I probably will.
yeah,
I might
it
add it
felt.
to my list next year.
I mean, the sequel, it feels more like to me like it's more like trash, but I had fun with it. I mean, like it's also what's interesting about this movie is like because it's rated R, like they originally shot it for a
It was like a PG
PG-13.
13, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and
just
like
the content of the Super
yeah,
8 was deemed too
too
fucking
scary.
morose.
Yeah, like they
Not even
went in there.
scary, just
No, I mean, like, yeah, they
there's
went in
nothing
there.
scary happening. It's like you don't see body, like you see people dying, but there's no
Yeah,
blood or like
yeah, no, like there's
curse
nothing.
words or
There's very few fucks. Like they're all improvised. There weren't any in the script, and like, yeah, I learned that from listening to the audio commentary. But it's funny because they talked about going to the MPA and asking for an appeal, and they were like, "Oh no,
Mhm.
you can't change it.
Yeah, the
Why not? Oh,
13-year-olds
it's
can't
just too
see
scary."
this.
Yeah, like exactly. Whereas, and that's probably why it doesn't feel as effective for Sinister 2 is because they just decided, oh well, now we can just go all out. We're gonna get an R rating anyway. Let's just make it as bloody as possible. And there's some really fucked up, like awesome, like in a horror film gory way, like Super 8 movies in that one. But it's not gonna be the first one. That's for sure.
Like it would be cool. I hope this doesn't happen, especially the way that franchise is going. But if there was like a VHS Bagul like crossover, like in the next VHS movie, there's a Bagul short,
Huh?
like that could work.
I
Like,
I'm not gonna say anything because you haven't seen Sinister 2, but
ooh,
well, then again, I could be completely off. But like, yeah, your theory might not be too far off.
I know. Well, I mean, we got to move on to the next movie that I saw because I'm sure you're gonna want to talk about that. But I know that it's kind of like a Children of the Corn ripoff
It
with the
has
twin siblings
it's
and
got those
whatnot.
elements, but I had fun with that concept. It's not at all as strong as the first film, but I just had fun with where the movie went, and Like, I didn't feel it was as horrible as some people thought it was.
Well, I like Shannon Sossman, so I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
The final film, well, not the final, but the final one we're going to talk about that I saw this week was Misery, which is one that everyone loves. It was actually really interesting, and it's kind of really indicative of my viewing experience and review in general. Entertainment Weekly has a anniversary issue right now. It's all about reunions, and they have like a cover story on getting the cast back together for stuff. And one of the things that they have is for Misery. And I'm reading the piece, and they're talking about the hobbling scene and all that stuff. And I was like, how weird is that I'm reading this the next day after seeing it for the first time? Like, I already knew the hobbling scene. You know how many times I've seen that clip?
Mm-hmm.
So the whole movie, I knew what kind of character Kathy Bates was, and it was no surprise. But even still, like, it was really good, really riveting.
Like, you finally have the build up to that scene itself, and it's just even more terrifying that way. I mean, that's the scene that. I mean, that's how I think most people are introduced to that movie. That's how I was. That's how I found out about it. It was on, like, that Bravo Scariest Movie Moments, which
scariest movie, like in the top 10 or something.
I mean, and like, that was pretty much, before I started using the internet, that was my way of learning what most of these titles were, and that's how I found out about it, was through that scene. I mean, and that's like, but anyway, yeah, I mean, the movie's fucking great.
Yeah, like it's basically a two-person play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have the sheriff doing his thing on the side and his wife giving the comedic relief, but it's basically just the two of them in one room.
Yeah.
Like, with no motion. Like, it's just James Caan on his ass in bed and her coming in with a tray every couple of minutes.
Yeah, I mean, fucking Kathy Bates just fucking scary.
Like, that's what's even great. This was her first film role.
Mm-hmm.
Like, basically.
I mean, that's her major breakout, anyway. Like, or is that her actual first film?
Like, it's actually, like, her first real film role, besides, like, some B character off on the side. Like, because I was reading it in Entertainment Weekly, it was like the first thing that she got her own trailer for. I mean, obviously, she got an Oscar for her performance.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it's not even necessarily that she's a terrifying character. It's just, it's scary because at the same time, she's not only so, like, innocent and endearing and sweet, but also this, like, psychotic, like, worst of the worst, baddie, crazy person. It's like she loves you so much that she can't let you be wrong.
I'm your number one fan.
Yeah, like, just scared. Like, that
God,
final
yeah, just
shot
so many
in
fucking
that
chills
restaurant.
on that. Oh, man.
That final shot where he's like, yeah, I'm basically over it. It's...
I think for me, like, that might be the movie that just made me want to stay away from celebrities in general.
Yeah.
Like, for fear of me, myself, turning into a crazy person, and also for them just turning out to be not who I expect them to be.
I mean, that's the thing, though. Like, James Caan is who she expects him to be.
I know,
just,
like...
she doesn't like what he's done. And you can't blame her. Like,
I mean, that's a lot of people
out
there, too.
It's hard to relate to her feeling, because, like, there's so many people out there that really connect with, literary, or not even just literary, but fictional characters. Mm-hmm. And for the main one in something to get killed off, like you're basically caught up on Game of Thrones. So the Red Wedding,
mm-hmm.
Like, I can't imagine what reading that was like.
Like, honestly, like, it's funny because we're talking about this now, and just for the character Annie Wilkes, like, it's funny, like, to think, like, if she was legitimately, like, insane to do it, like, or if this is just, like, something, like, just as people where we obsess over fiction and characters, and when something bad happens to them, we just get so pissed off. Because, I mean, yeah, like, for the wedding on Game of Thrones, like, the outcry on the internet, or, just even, I didn't watch it, but I know what happened at the end of this last season, like, if the same thing happened to George R.R. Martin, like, where he was just stuck in some cabin, like,
probably,
yeah, I mean, it could just be some normal, sane person, and then they'd be driven to do some insane shit, all in the name of fictional characters. Like,
but, like, that power, it's like the power of the written word. Like, she basically loves him, and then she goes out and buys his new book. It's like, what happened now? Like,
it's really, like, that interesting, back that God, what's the word I'm looking for?
I feel like this movie could be retooled to be like an Andy Kaufman type thing, like the other side of adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. Like
You
I've
mean
tried
Charlie
reading.
Kaufman?
Yeah, Charlie
Okay,
Kaufman.
yeah, you said Andy. I was like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
it's like what? He's dead. But like I've tried reading Stephen King. I read the first half of The Shining, and I seriously got so scared that I stopped reading it. Like, I didn't want Tommy to go into the room.
You mean Danny?
Danny, like I didn't want him to go
Get your
into the room
names right, man. I'm in a
fuck
later
you.
time zone than you are.
The build up on that scene in the book is fucking intimidating. Like it's not in the movie where like he passes by it for like 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and then like he goes in there. No, it's like 40, 50, 60, 70 pages. Like it's just like, don't go in there, Danny. Doc, like blah blah blah, like all that shit, and like for chapters and chapters, like it's like a whole segregated into different books in it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't want to read this shit. But like the more and more adaptations I see of Stephen King, even though they're not all great, it's like
there's a lot of great ones. I mean, the guy. I don't know how many books he's got, but
a ton.
I mean, there's a shitload of great material from him out there, just as much as there is bad material, because he's got, not everything's gonna hit. But I mean, yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, basically. Sorry, continue.
No, I was just, like I kind of want to read Misery. I know I have it somewhere around my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I have I don't have a first printing, but I have a first edition of The Shining.
Like, I don't know if it's that much different from.
No, like I mean,
because The Shining, that's more Kubrick, and we know that Stephen King is not happy with how that turned out because it's so.
That
different.
novel is very different.
Yeah.
Very, very different. It's like, for one thing, it's actually about like the nuclear family and divorce and the trauma that kids go through through like domestic violence and that stuff. Like that's actually there, whereas the movie is just a ghost story with a psychotic dad. Like his alcoholism's kind of cut out of the movie.
But it's so well made, dude. It's
not a bad movie.
It's not cut out.
I mean, there's a big difference between him going to the bar and seeing a picture of him on the wall when he's drunk, and like chapter after chapter of him like pouring another scotch because he's bored in a hotel. There was a line in Misery, by the way, in the beginning where like someone says like, "Oh yeah, don't you, like that rioter off at that hotel and whatever," like a little like tongue-in-cheek reference.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, that's all I watch basically. We do have a treat for you. We both also have already seen The Others, which is our Death to Cinema pick for this week. So that's going to be recorded very soon, and we're going to be putting it up the day after this one.
Mm-hmm. So
please tune in if that would interest you. It is from 2001, and it is on Netflix.
Yep, check it out.
Thanks for listening. You can find us on dollarreviewspodcast.wordpress.com, where you can find every single episode we've ever done, as well as searching for us on iTunes or TuneIn. We're all over the place, or at least we like to think we are. So please send us an email if you got any feedback, whether that's positive, negative, or neutral, at dollar.review@gmail.com. We'd love to hear something from you. Or just, like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter if you'd like to do it through the social network way. Have a good one.
See you next week.